Sometimes as a coach, even myself, I need that inspiration. I need that motivation. There's plenty of times where I get in these ruts, and today I got that boost of inspiration. Now, not necessarily I was stuck in a rut today, but I definitely needed some words of encouragement, and I was able to get it. So as most of you guys know that's been tuning in, typically either before my workout or after my workout, I'll hit up the sauna, typically with my buddy Sean at the gym. And it's always nice to just kind of get in there, sweat out all the toxins and whatnot, and just kind of just like relax a little bit. It's kind of, I'll say it like this. It's more of a mental push more than anything. There are some benefits, obviously, to going to a sauna and whatnot, but mentally, it's just like, man, like this kind of sucks. You want to get out. And so I was telling Sean, I was like, hey, listen, man. I was like, I got 60 seconds left, and then I got to bounce. And this is the boost of inspiration that I got this morning that hopefully you guys can take with it and run with it as well. Sean looks at me and he said, listen, he said, what is the point of counting the time? Because all you're going to do is just get there to that end time, and that's it. Be over and done with it. He's like, imagine this being a race. He's like, you just want to go there and cross the line and that's it? He's like, what about the competitors out there that want to go past the line, that want to go farther, that aren't worried about the time, and they're in it to win it. They're in it for the long haul, right? They're in it to push themselves. And I was like, oh, Sean, about time you hit me with some motivation, brother. It's not like I needed it for today, but you definitely gave me an overdosage of it because it hit home. And it just got me thinking. And I told him afterwards, I'm like, Sean, I got to make a podcast about this, brother, because it's beautiful. I love it. How many times do we do something just to do it, but then we don't actually want to go through with it to the very end or past it or see how far we can take it? Think about it. I know a lot of people that's on their health and fitness journey, we're typically, I'm just going to work out. I'm just going to eat healthy until I reach my goals, right? Hit my goal weight or whatever the case may be. Look good, feel good, and that's it. But then that's it. They stop. They're content, right? And slowly but surely they go back to their old ways. They fall off the wagon. Why? Because they're not on this mission, right? They're not in this long haul effect, right? And it's just like the saying goes, the wolf that's climbing the hill is always hungrier than the wolf that's at the top of the hill. So wherever you're at right now, maybe you're trying to burn some body fat, maybe you're trying to improve on your business or career or relationships, let's just talk about that one, right? Think about it like you probably, if you're married, right, your spouse, think about the very first time you interacted with him or her, Let's just say you fell in love with this lady, right? And you decide to start taking her out on dates, texting her every day, right? Telling her how much you love her, how much you care about her. You got the butterfly feelings, the honeymoon phase, as they say, right? And then you go through, obviously eventually getting engaged and then getting married. And then it's like, hey, the first, 6 months, the first year, still maybe in that honeymoon phase. But then eventually, right, you stop doing the things that you were doing in the very beginning that earned, your wife's hand in marriage. Let that sink in, fellas. Let that sink in. So it's just like, don't just do the things to get to the goal. Don't just, hey, court your wife and be, or court the lady that you're dating and then eventually get married to her and then just go back to your old ways and stop texting her you love her. Stop doing all those nice romantic things. Stop going on the date nights and stop, being passionately in love with her just because, hey, you won the prize, you got married. Stop doing that, right? Same thing with your health and fitness journey, right? It's just like, don't think, and this is why it cracks me up when people tell me, oh, Joe, I'm just going to cut out my carbs until I reach my goal weight, and then I'm just going to go back to eating carbs. And I'm like, you're a moron. In no world does that ever make sense. Like, that's just stupidity, right? Albert Einstein said it best. The definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. So it's like, don't you think what made you fat in the first place, if you cut out something to help you lose weight and then went back to what made you fat in the first place, you're going to regain the fat right back, right? So that's why we always say, Don't just do something just to get the goal. Fall in love with the process. Don't fall in love with the goal, because half the time the goal's on a pedestal. You're obsessed with it. You pour way too much emotions into it. And next thing you know, like, you are your own worst enemy. You end up shooting yourself in the foot because you care too much about this artificial goal. Maybe it's some number on the scale that you want to see, right? Which means absolutely nothing at the end of the day, right? But hey, you're obsessed over that. And so it's just like you put too much obsession over to that number, right? And you're willing to cut corners and do whatever you can to see that number. It's like Napoleon said, people give up what they want the most for what they want right now. And it's just like, hey, at the end of the day, that's why people fail. That's why people are not successful long term. So hopefully, right, Sean giving me that boost of inspiration can be bled out into you guys that's tuning into today's episode that says, don't just do something to cross the finish line, but do it all the way through, go past the finish line. If you're focusing on your health and fitness journey, right? Let's say you're working out. Let's say you're hitting your macros, right? You're being active. You're drinking plenty of water, getting your sleep in. All the habits that we go over at Heartletics, then great. Kudos to you. Continue to do them. Whether you reach your goal or not, make them a daily practice and continue to practice that, even if you already got six-pack abs. Hey, these habits have led to that success. So you don't want to just, lose the success, lose the results by going back to your old ways. No, it's keep up with it. And this is why we always say, if you're going to do something in the long run. Don't cut out your carbs or intermittent fasting or something like endless amounts of cardio that's maybe just not sustainable for you. Sure, you're going to see some quick wins, in the first couple weeks. Who wouldn't, right? But do something that you can do in the next 5 months, 5 years, 10 years. Do something that's sustainable for you in the long run, because that's going to create habits over time. And so once again, today was just a daily reminder from Sean. I appreciate him for telling me this. I'm counting down the time. I'm like, man, Sean, I got 60 seconds, baby. I'm like, you got to help me through. He's like, 60 seconds? He's like, why are you counting the time? Why are you counting the time? He said, your competitors out there, they don't care about the time. They care about going the end. They care about going the distance. And it was that daily boost of motivation that I got that hopefully can bleed off into this video and message for you guys to gain some inspiration from as well. So remember, compare the two, right? I'm sure that hopefully what I said about, marriage and, dating that person and that significant other and, the honeymoon phase and being madly in love, right? And then next thing you know, you've been married for 5 years and you don't act the same way as what you did in the very beginning. Let that sink in, fellas. Let that sink in. That's the same thing with your health and fitness journey. As far as like, hey, so many times people are willing to go above and beyond. They want to do these certain things, and then they reach their goals and they get complacent. They stop doing what has helped them have success. And that's why we always say, fall in love with the process, not the goals. So in marriage, hey, what got you to that marriage? You should be doing those practices daily because it makes you feel good, right? And obviously it makes your spouse feel good as well, right? It's building on that foundation, building that relationship. You should always be courting your spouse, right? Whether you're dating, married, relationship, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? You should always be there, right? To court and to love and show that affection. Same thing with your health and fitness journey. What led you to the success of, losing body fat and maybe getting off your medications? Guess what? You should continue to do that each and every day because it's what led to the success, but it's something that you can do long term. It's something that you enjoy doing. Hey, I enjoy walking because it provides energy, makes me feel good. Hey, I enjoy going to the gym because guess what? I love pushing my body to the limits. I love pushing my mindset. I love being disciplined. Hey, I enjoy hitting my calories and my macronutrients because guess what? I'm filled with tons of energy and I can recover my body properly. So that way when I look at myself in the mirror first in the morning, I'm proud of what I see. Guess what? I didn't say anything about the goals. I talked everything about the process right there. So hopefully today is a little mindset shift for you guys and let that sink in. Remember, don't just do something just to get to the crossing of the line. Go past the line. And that is going to be your call to action for today.